Good evening, PNG, and thanks for joining us for another great episode of Coca-Cola Sports Scene on this lovely Monday evening. We are down here at the Rita Flynn Courts in Baroka, yes, for the National Netball Championships. As you can see behind me, the Junior Championships are way underway, and the Seniors begin on Friday. Without further ado, as we usually do to kickstart the program each week, let's take a look at our sporting briefs. In the sports briefs this week, Daru Stingrays took on the Port Moresby side at the Barber Park after Tuesday's match. Stingrays hit back, defeating the home side 32-24. And the trials for the PNG Palais were also held at the Barber Park on Saturday. The 12-member squad was later named that evening. Doris Joseph, Kimli Rapila, Lynette Kwarula, Caleb Benny, Jillian Yalon, Dalcy Bomai, Yarowena Morofa, on debut Mei-Ling Chung, Manda Ipat, also on debut Frida Waula, Joanne Lagona, and Pauline Arazi. The team departs next month for Nusa in the Sunshine Coast. In the men's snooker titles, Peter Fong beat his opponent Willie Vayake to take on nephew Dijon Fong in the grand final. Dijon defeated Peter 5-0 in the best of 9 frames. In the media pool grand final, Lamana took on Spin Doctors after defeating from Augusta. It was neck and neck for the both teams, but Spin Doctors showed they were the better side, claiming this year's title, beating the rivals 4-2. On Sunday at the Lloyd Robson Oval in Port Moresby, Team Red took on Team Gold. At the final whistle, Red thrashed Gold 18-0 after both sides were 0-all at halftime. Guria's Francis Panyu scored 3 tries to help Team Red win. And there you have it, the sporting briefs for this week. Congratulations to the Daru Stingrays for beating Pomsi RU there, yes, 32-24. Okay, we'll go for a break. Coming up on the other side, we join Netball Federation President Julian Leka Maliaki, who talks about the National Netball Championships. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene.
And then besides category, we'll have 2 more rounds.
Welcome back to Coca-Cola Sports Scene. We now head over to the beautiful town of Alotau in the Milne Bay province with great news for the development of sports, the launch of the Members' Cup and funding for a new stadium.
We must give hope to our young people. We must create activities and opportunities and benefits for our young people to go into the future. If we don't do that, if we forget about them and all this money and whatever we talk about, our country is lost. And we know that too many of our young people are missing out on the system, missing out on the education system. When they come out of high school, when they come out through there and they don't find they're able to get into university or technical college or community college, and there's no activities happening, there's a sense of hopelessness. And of course they get into the wrong kinds of activities. It is for that purpose we have created this Alota Youth Empowerment Program. It is for those of us who miss out on that system, the existing system. We fall through the net and we are left and forgotten about. And down there you see our Youth Empowerment Center. It is about creating a holistic site there where we have different types of opportunities available to our young people who miss out on the system. Whether it's the community college, or the spiritual center, or the Open University, or the trade center, or the FIFA soccer and cricket academy that we're building down there, that is what this is all about. And within that program is our sports program that we see here today. And we have been putting 500,000 kina every year. It's all about engaging our youths. And I want to impress upon the sports minister. He is from a city electorate, but he is responsible for sports in the whole country. And I'm telling him this morning and reminding him, our country is comprised mostly of rural areas. Yes. It's comprised mostly of districts or sub-districts like Makamaka, and like Suau, and like Daga. This is where most of our people live. So when we think about activities, when we think about sports programs, when we think about how we level and structure government, the structure of government itself, we must keep that in mind. For me, it all starts down at the ward level, you see. And that's where I want this program, sports program, to commence. And I always tell us every year, this is only the end of it. The most important part of it is what you're doing every weekend in the village. That's where it should start, and that's where this program starts. It's your ward or your zone level games. From there you have your championship, like I always say, and then you progress up to the district championship. After that, we should progress through next year to the Governor's Cup, and then we have the other series of events. An example is that in a couple of weeks we're having the Southern Zone FIFA Soccer Championships here in Alotau. You progress on to that, huh? Then of course we're working to the PNG Games next year. Then of course in 2015 we've got the Pacific Games. After that you got the mini games, you got the Commonwealth Games, you got the Olympic Games and whatnot, you see. But we must create the activity and the structure down here in the village first. And it's no point only in looking after those elites. At the end of the day, to me, all those competitions are useless unless the program has engaged all of us down at the grassroots level first. That's the important thing.
We got the Pacific Games coming up, which will make the Pacific show how good Papua New Guinea is. We will be the best in the Pacific. It's not just about building this multi-million kina infrastructure. It's also about showing the Pacific now that PNG is the big daddy in this area. Absolutely. We have to show ourselves through sport that we can organize ourselves properly as well. We can organize ourselves to host this very big and important Pacific Games coming up July 4th, 2015. But to get there, we also have to ensure we train and we start from the bottom up. And what the Minister was saying is true. This is why last year I introduced the Sports Enhancement Program. That Sports Enhancement Program is about getting the funding into the districts, into the local level governments, into the communities, into the villages, into the settlements, to start the promotion of sports through competitions, sports enhancement, identification of those unsung talents that are out there, to enrich them and enhance them, to make them superstars of the future. This check is for your new stadium that we are standing where we're standing right now, and this is part of the Sports Enhancement Program. And it's for a check of 1 million kina! This is a significant amount of funding from the national government through the Sports Enhancement Program and through the Ministry of Sports to ensure that the facilities here in Alotau are bigger and better and absolutely fantastic for all of you to benefit from. Thank you.
Your individual commitment that you sacrifice and make, and for that I want to say thank you on behalf of the country and our people for the efforts that you put in. Now we know that next 2 years is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But it presents us an opportunity to focus on sports as a career for many of you. I think you would note by now, during your travels and participation in some of these events like the Mini South Pacific Games, that sports is becoming a career for many individuals throughout the world. So don't take it too lightly when you're training and putting your efforts in there, that there is a big world out there that you can also participate. You have every right to participate and get the benefits that are there, that associates with that effort that you are making. So our role as government is to try and help you get there. And of course we will do our best. As I said, Papua New Guinea is not easy. There are a lot of challenges. We've got issues in health, we've got issues in education, law and order, and the list goes on. But nobody else is going to do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. And that goes for sports as well. And that is why this government has been focusing on making sure that we are not just there for the showcase, but for the long term. So some of the investments that we are making in infrastructure like the sports stadium, it is not something that we are doing it for one games and it'll be over. We want that to be maintained for future generation as well. So in Port Moresby alone, we have now taken over 3 stadiums. Of course, the Sir John Guy Stadium, Sir Hubert Murray, which after so many disputes, we are now able to take possession, and we will start work on that. And of course, the PRL Stadium. We are spending hundreds of millions of kina in developing that as a permanent structure where you and every other Papua New Guinean can enjoy those facilities. So you can again see the level of commitment we are doing. We are also trying to build other sporting infrastructures throughout the country. It will take time, but I can assure you that this government is well aware of the responsibilities that we have. We are committed to making sure we do that. We are putting sports as one of the top priorities of our government and of our country, because it not only resolves many other issues, it gives you opportunity to do something that can not only improve your quality of your life, but also try and earn an income and opportunities that the sporting world presents out there. In 2014 is an important year for us. And again, on the incentives, I want to assure you that we will sit down with the Federation, Sir John and his team, Secretary General and their team, to try and make sure we have a right incentive package for each and every one of you so that we can reward the success that you have done it. Don't just do it because of the incentive. Do it because you love to do what you're doing. Do it for your country. Do it for yourself. And we will be there with you all the way. And finally, I want to say that I thank you to Richard and the management team. Thank you very much for being good ambassadors and making sure that our athletes present us well to our international community. This is probably the first team that going away team that I haven't had any of the usual incidences we normally hear about. So congratulations to each and every one of them. Thank you for the well-disciplined, well balanced, and of course great achievements. Congratulations to each and every one of you. I want to say this before I sit down. Again, I said incentives, we'll work through it. We will make sure that there will be a right package for you, that you can take it from me. I will make sure I will be there in 2015 in every game, and we are now going to host the South Pacific Leaders Forum on the same day when the game is on, so that all the other leaders in all the other Pacific Island countries will be here too, to barrack for their team, and of course, watch us win all the gold medals. So let's work together to making our country very proud. But today I want to announce that for every participant in the Mini South Pacific Games, the government will give you a little bit of allowance of 1,000 kina each to each one of you. And then for all the medalists and all the things, I will put a total package of together 500,000 kina to Sir John and his team to distribute to the medalists, so that it gives you a bit of allowance. bit of allowance, we'll say thank you very much and thank you for making our country so proud. God bless you. Have a happy Independence Weekend. Thank you very much.
Yes, welcome back to Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Before we do wrap up the show for this week, we caught up with the Papua New Guinea Rugby League Foundation group, yes, fresh from the Zone Championships in Lae Morabel Province, and this is what CEO Brett Tussell had to say.
Yeah, look, the National Championships over the 3 days was a fantastic event. It's the first time, I think, in 4 years that it's been revived by the PNG RFL, and it was a commitment that was made to all the leagues right across the country to give the players an opportunity to play at a higher level who don't take part in the Digicel Cup competition. So we're very keen to make sure that the championship develops into a bigger and better event next year, and that it is the premier annual event for the PNG RFL year after year. So there was some great footy over the 3 days. It was played in a great spirit. There was no fighting. It was good hard football. There was some young players that certainly stood out as well. So Southern Zone took out the National Championships, the inaugural one, which is in a great final over Northern Zone. And the other two zones also competed really well over the 2 days as well. So it was a really excellent event, and it was a great success for the PNG RFL. Final score I think was 28-18, but Northern Zone had a big match the day before. They were down 17-0 against the Highlands and came back and won 18-17 to get into the final. And I think that took a lot out of them. They were ahead for most of the match, but the Southern boys scored 3 late tries to take away the championships, and it was well deserved too. Southern Zone competed well all 3 days as well. Well, now we picked an honorary 20-man squad out of the championships, which is basically the best 20 players that we believed that took part in the championships, and that was selected by the PNG RFL national selectors. That's just an honorary squad for this year, but for next year, obviously, we are working on revamping the entire program so that it is part of the national program with incorporated with the Team Kumul program as well. And I'd say that probably part of the program next year, the team that is selected out of this will play against an emerging Kumul side in a match next year as well. So there's a lot of plans that we've got for the championships and for those players. And as I said, prior to this championship coming into place, there was nothing there for players who played in the local league. They played their local leagues and there was no recognition. This now gives them that recognition. It gives them the opportunity to be seen by Digicel Cup clubs and coaches, by Team Kumul coaches who were there over the weekend, and also by potential Queensland Cup coaches as well for next year, hopefully when we get announced that in a couple of weeks' time. So there was probably 4 to 6 players out of that championships that will probably get an invitation to the train-on squad for the Queensland Cup team. So there's some great young talent. Oh, it's all go, isn't it? Yeah, we've had the national championships. We've got Team Kumul Red versus Gold this Sunday, Lloyd Robson Oval, and then of course the week after that is the PM13. We're about to announce a World Cup dinner as well before the players depart on the 14th, and then they take on Scotland in a warm-up match in the UK, and then first match 27th of October against France.
And yes, we do now wrap things up on Coca-Cola Sports Scene for another Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show and hope you celebrated 38 years of independence right around the country, wherever you are. Hope you had a fantastic day. We'll see you same time next time right here on Coca-Cola Sports Scene. And remember, the 500ml Coca-Cola is only 3 Kina, more Coke value for you. And also, you can go and find us on Facebook. Go ahead and like our page, friend us. Until next Monday evening, we'll leave you with some of the highlights of the independence celebrations here in Port Moresby. Until then, it's good night.